today we're going to show you how to refletch arrows, and I'm going to learn as well. And that's why Ben's here, because I really don't know how to do it. I just know that arrows get shot out of bows. That's about it. I know we've done a few things so far. Ben knows what we did. I just kind of watched. But what did we do so far?
Sure. So we took, what are these things? Full metal jackets. Just these stock arrows that came from Go Hunt. Mm-hmm. And we cut them down to 29.5. You know, there's a lot of questions about what the right size is. I always just like doing exactly what your draw length is, because it seems, you know, some people will hold their fingers up a little higher when they're gripping the bow, and with doing your draw length, that broadhead is out far enough so you don't have any issues with stuff catching or cutting your finger or anything. But so this was probably about a week ago. We took it was a Cabela's arrow cutter. We cut them down to all the right size, and then we set all of his inserts with this tool that actually comes with these arrows. So as long as you know how to get them cut, it's actually pretty simple getting it to this point. And then from here we gonna pick out kind of what colors Hoff wants, and he's got a couple colors picked out.
Yeah, we got the Max Hunter. Before we go out of this, you kind of need an arrow saw, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't want to do it. Just
yeah, and I have a very, very nice uncle that lets me use his because they're very spendy.
Exactly. So. And honestly, so going to the fletchings, I had no idea what to get again. I knew I wanted orange and black just because the bow I got has orange strings on it. And that's why I kind of went with orange, not for any particular reason. I want those two colors, but Ben kind of told me these Max Hunters are good, so we're going to try them out.
So this is pretty much what we're going to try to end up with. Hoff's fletchings, or Nick's fletchings here, are a little bit different than what these are. These are a little longer, more of just like a standard look, and then these Hunters actually kind of have like a lip. And I've actually been really curious about these, so I'm kind of excited to see how they work.
Exactly. So now all we're going to do is, here's your little, what do you call this? What is this?
Just a Fletch jig.
Okay, Fletch jig.
Yeah, so it's a Fletch Master Bits and Burger.
And then the last thing we got was this, I don't know what, he told me to order this pack off of Go Hunt, the glue and all that stuff.
Yeah, so with this stuff, this AAE company, same company as the fletchings, they have a kit that it basically gives you everything that you need. So you have your arrow kind of wipes or cleaners. They're basically alcohol wipes, but you know, for $20 it's pretty nice to have. And
that's the whole kit's about $20,
yeah.
Like 20 to 30, 25, 24 or something like that.
Yep, and then it comes with a primer pen. So the primer pen basically is right on the bottom side. The bottom side of the fletching that is going to go onto the arrow, you basically take and just wipe it up, and you get with the primer pen, you kind of get a better, it basically, it goes on a lot easier than trying to use the wipes and get everything else like that. And it pretty much just cleans it off, dries it so that the glue will stick to it. And then the last thing that comes in there is actually the adhesive that is going to stick the vein to the arrow. So
perfect.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what we got going on here, and
we got 12 arrows to do, and
yep,
and yeah, get fletching, I guess, huh?
The way that I got this jig, since I ordered it off of Knock On, it basically comes prepped and ready. You know, it doesn't just come as the jig and all the pieces and parts different. It comes with a direction book. I didn't read it because it was already set up. So with these, there is a helical to them, and I believe it's a right helical. And on this side, and I don't 100% know quite how it works, I know that you can set different helicals so that this jig is sitting. It's kind of offset a little bit more or less. I've found with how it came that I really do like what the helical is, and so I kind of just have set it that way. And then the only, you know, the one thing that I do know how to do just with going from a 4 fletching setup to a 3 fletch, there's little Allen wrenches right down in here. Maybe if you want to zoom in on those. They basically, so you pop one of those out and then you push this other one in, and then down on this, you can kind of, you twist it and then you can kind of hear it pop into place. So like that was the last fletching that I did, and now when I twist it here over to this next one, it just pops right in on where it needs to be. So it's very, very easy to do this aspect. I haven't necessarily dug into this aspect yet of this. You know, from the little bit of videos that I have watched, it's not that hard. I just haven't cared to because I've had really good luck with how this setup is right now. So basically this is the arrow that we talked about earlier. This is one that's cut down, it's prepped, ready to go, inserts in it. So now basically we're going to take, so in that package that Hoff got, or that Nick got, these are just basically alcohol wipes. I don't know, they're just called Max Clean arrow wipes. So I take and just, you know, kind of prep the arrow with that. In the past I have done it where I've prepped them all first, but we're not in a big rush tonight, so it doesn't matter. So then I'm going to take and set this thing in the jig right here, and that's set and ready to go. Since I just did that, I'm going to let it dry just for a little bit. I want each fletching to set really nice, so we don't have any issues of anything pulling off, or any of the adhesive, you know, isn't a straight line. And then we're going to go with, so these are the fletchings that Nick picked. He did black and then orange. And in how we're going to do this, so Nick wants to do 2 black and then 1 orange. So with the orange, we'll put that one up. In this case, kind of once we get this stuff on, it doesn't really matter because we can take and twist the knock if we need to, just to get it all set. Both Nick and I are not big fans of gluing knocks in. You know, I've had enough that break off, or, you know, in the case of if you're doing a lighted knock, if you can use that in your area, they go bad all the time. I think I've been buying arrows, I don't even know how many, or knocks, the lighted knocks. I think I buy probably 6 or 7 a year just so that I have some left over. And then the next step, so our arrow here is pretty dry, it's ready to go. So I have the fletching in the jig, so I'm going to take the primer pen. Primer pen, basically it's just filled with liquid, and then every once in a while you just got to push it down so that there's that kind of cleaning agent comes out to the end. And then I just take and run it along here just a little bit. You can either just sit and let it dry, or you can kind of blow on it just a little bit so that you can speed up the process, but it dries really quickly, so it's not really a big deal. And then I'm going to take the adhesive. It's kind of a little bit tricky to get it, but you want just a nice coating all the way across. I can show you here after I do this. But basically, not really sure how well you can see that, but you can kind of see the adhesive all the way across that fletching. And then you take and you just pop this jig right on. It's a magnet. Everything is set up so that you ride it right on the bottom, and then you just slowly press it down onto the arrow and kind of just let it sit there just for a couple seconds so that it'll set up just a tiny bit, just enough so that when I pull that jig off, it doesn't deflect that fletching at all. And then once you start turning it to go to the next fletching, it's not pulling off or anything like that. So, you know, that's been kind of long enough time here, so now we can take and just twist it, do it 2 more times, and that arrow's done. So now after we went through that same process that I just talked about 2 more times, this is a completed arrow. There's a slight twist to the fletchings, and then we have it spaced from here out. That's what we were discussing earlier. These are actually turning out really well. So now I don't know how many exactly fletchings we have left, but there's 10 arrows, so it's going to be a little while. Well, here's the last of 12 arrows that we did tonight. We did the same fletching pattern throughout on all of these. We both Nick and I agree we don't like to glue knocks, so after all of these set up, you know, honestly, even the first couple we could probably go outside and shoot right now. This stuff sets up pretty quick, but what I've done in the past is just wait overnight, and then, you know, in our case right now we're doing this quite a bit earlier, so it's not like there's a season coming up tomorrow or anything, so we're not in a huge rush, so we can give it really good time to dry. You know, and going through all of this stuff, in my opinion, I think in the long run it's a little bit cheaper. You can pick the arrows that you want, and it's just a little bit more hands-on, and being able to go through and pick fletchings. Nick went with these ones, and I went with a different one, and I've had a lot of fun doing it and messing up a couple, but also I've really noticed a difference, and I think the accuracy is there a little bit more there rather than just going and buying the same ones off the shelf. It's been a lot of fun.